When I'm cooking a beautiful steak at home, I want to make sure I cook it to perfection. So I'm going to show you my tips and tricks to getting it right every single time. I'm also going to serve it with a very simple sauce, a horseradish cream. It works a treat, particularly with these rump cap steaks. Now, this is a rump steak essentially, but you can see it's the top cap of it, and it's got a nice thick amount of fat here, which equals flavour. Now, the way that I'm going to cook my steak, you can also apply to other cuts of steak, like rump steak, even fillet of beef. So pan is nice and hot. I need to oil the steaks. I like to oil them as opposed to oiling the pan. So good glug of extra virgin olive oil. And do bring your steaks out of the fridge, depending on how thick. These ones are actually quite thick, so I've brought these out about 45 minutes ago. It also depends on how hot the day is. Essentially, you do not want them to be cold, because if they're cold, they're not going to cook evenly. We're going to season with some salt, generous amount of salt on our steaks. It's going to form a lovely crust. And I'm not going to add pepper yet. I find if I add the pepper now, it can burn in the pan, particularly at these high heats, so we can season it with pepper later on. So in with our steaks. These are about 250 grams. I like mine to be about medium rare, so they're going to cook for 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Now, while they're sealing off, let's get on to this very quick sauce. Horseradish and beef, they are absolute best friends. And if you can get your hands on fresh horseradish like this, then use it. It's peppery, it's woody, it's fantastic with crème fraiche. So we're just going to finely grate this horseradish. And if you can't find fresh, you could also use jarred horseradish. It works very well too. Okay, so a good amount of that fresh horseradish. I'll also add some vinegar, a splash of vinegar in there. And the last ingredient is some crème fraiche that has a really lovely tang to it. So a big spoonful or two. And then we'll mix that together. It needs to be seasoned, pinch of salt. Don't mix it too much because it thins out. We still want a bit of thickness there. And that's the sauce done. Have a little taste. Oh, you should really taste that horseradish in there, which I do. Let's pop that to the side. Let's have a look at our steaks. Oh, that's some good colour there. Turn that over. I'm going to give that another 2 minutes on that side, and because I've got that lovely chunk of fat there, I'm also going to render that fat off slightly, so we will pop it on its side too. Once they're finished cooking, I'm going to show you a little trick to add extra flavour to the steak. All right, these steaks are just right. So to finish it off, I like to add some hard herbs to this. I'm going to add a bay leaf and some thyme. I'm going to turn the heat off, and I'm going to add this generous knob of butter, and I'm going to drench this beautiful steak in the butter. And that's just going to make it super glossy and give it flavour. And as this butter melts, I like to just gather it on the bottom of the pan and just drizzle it over. And this whole notion is called nappe au beurre. So we're flavouring this butter at the very last minute with this beautiful herby butter that's going to taste like the bay leaf and the thyme. All right, we don't want to overcook these steaks, so we'll take them out. Fantastic. And I'll even go as far as adding those gorgeous herbs on top and just pour over some of that butter as it rests. And I know it will be very tempting right now to cut them straight away, but the key to a good steak is allowing it to rest. If we cook that for about 6 minutes, we want to rest it for at least 3 minutes, which gives me just enough time to reduce some stock. So I've got some chicken stock here. I'm going to add it back to the pan and just make a little bit of a pan juice. Our pan juices are lovely and thick, that's what we want. Steak's rested. I'm going to serve this with some spinach, just some sautéed spinach. Of course, you could serve this with some chippies too, or some mash. So we'll just place that on the side. And I'm going to cut into one of these steaks. Oh, beautiful. So nice thick chunks of this gorgeous steak. See how that's pink all the way through? That's what we're after. So we'll place this onto our spinach, place that in the centre. We'll finish this off with lashings of pan juices. See how thick it's become just by reducing it over the top. And don't forget the horseradish cream. 3 simple ingredients to really elevate a perfectly cooked steak just on top there. And there you have it. That's my pan-fried rump steak with horseradish cream, a real standout dish. Make that for your favourite person. I'm gonna tell you, they're gonna love you for it.